On September 1st, 1939, the world awoke not to a storm, but to the thunder of German artillery and the drone of Luftwaffe bombers over Poland. The invasion was swift and brutal, targeting not just soldiers, but civilians. Bombs fell on hospitals, churches, and homes in Wielun before dawn. This was a new kind of warfare, one that erased the line between combatant and civilian. The fragile peace of the 1930s shattered as Germany launched a calculated act of aggression, not a border dispute, but the opening move in a global conflict. Adolf Hitler, claiming to defend ethnic Germans and demanding territory, orchestrated a crisis Poland could not resolve without losing its sovereignty. Poland, trapped between Germany and the Soviet Union, refused to yield, relying on promises from Britain and France. But Hitler wanted more than land. He envisioned a German empire in the east. Propaganda painted Poland as the aggressor, but the world watched in dread as German troops and tanks crossed the border. Diplomacy had failed. The time for talk was over. The invasion of Poland marked the start of the most destructive war in human history. For Poland, it was a day of terror and confusion, the beginning of unimaginable suffering. The world would never be the same. The Second World War had begun. The darkness had descended. Hitler's invasion was set for August 26, 1939, but last-minute news changed everything. Britain signed a binding alliance with Poland, and Italy backed out of supporting Germany. Hitler hesitated, furious, and called off the attack. Temporarily. The real key to his confidence was a secret deal, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, signed with the Soviet Union on August 23rd. Publicly, it was a non-aggression pact. Secretly, it divided Eastern Europe between the two dictatorships. Poland was to be split, and the Baltic states handed to Stalin. For Hitler, this meant no two-front war. For Stalin, time to rebuild his purged army and expand westward. The fate of Poland was sealed not on the battlefield, but in a quiet room in Moscow. The world was shocked by the alliance of two sworn enemies. The pact was a cold calculation, sacrificing smaller nations for strategic gain. With the pact in place, Hitler was ready to strike. The countdown to war resumed. The machinery of destruction was set in motion. Poland's doom was decided before the first shot. The world braced for the storm. The Devil's Pact had been signed. In 1939, Europe was tangled in alliances and haunted by memories of the First World War. Britain and France, desperate to avoid another catastrophe, had tried appeasement, allowing Hitler to rearm, occupy the Rhineland, and annex Austria and Czechoslovakia. But Hitler's invasion of the rest of Czechoslovakia proved appeasement had failed. Britain and France finally drew a line, guaranteeing Poland's independence. For Poland, this promise was a lifeline. Meanwhile, far from Europe, the Soviets and Japanese clashed at Khalkhin Gol. The Soviet victory convinced Japan to turn south, not west, shaping the future of the Pacific War. Stalin, now secure in the east, could focus on Europe and finalize his pact with Hitler. The events in Asia directly influenced the timing of the invasion of Poland. The world's attention was fixed on Europe, but global forces were already in motion. Alliances and promises would soon be tested. The stage was set for World War. The countdown had begun. Hitler needed an excuse to invade Poland, one that would convince Germans and the world. Operation Himmler was launched, staged attacks along the border, the most infamous being the Gleiwitz incident. SS men, dressed as Polish soldiers, attacked a German radio station, broadcasting a fake message and leaving behind a murdered prisoner as evidence. The deception was cold and calculated. Hours later, Hitler addressed the Reichstag, claiming Poland had attacked first. Since 5:45 a.m., we have been returning fire, he lied. The invasion had already begun. The world was presented with a manufactured justification for war. The truth was buried beneath propaganda. The war was underway. The German Wehrmacht was the most modern military in the world. Fast, ruthless, and well-equipped. Their blitzkrieg strategy combined tanks, planes, and speed to overwhelm defenses. Over 1.5 million German troops, thousands of tanks, and modern aircraft surged into Poland. The Polish army, though brave and nearly 1 million strong, was outmatched, outgunned, outnumbered, and spread thin along a vast border. Their outdated equipment and flawed defensive plan left them vulnerable. The myth of Polish cavalry charging tanks symbolized the technological gap. Poland's tanks and planes were few and obsolete, quickly destroyed by the Luftwaffe. The Germans advanced relentlessly, while Poland hoped for help from its allies. But help would not come in time. The battle was a mismatch from the start. Poland fought valiantly, but the odds were overwhelming. The invasion was swift and devastating. The world watched as Poland stood alone. At dawn on September 1st, the German battleship Schleswig-Holstein opened fire on Westerplatte. World War II had begun. German forces surged across the border, striking from north and south, aiming to encircle and destroy the Polish army. The speed and ferocity of the Blitzkrieg stunned the world. Stuka dive bombers, with their terrifying sirens, shattered Polish defenses and morale. The Luftwaffe quickly dominated the skies, crippling Polish communications and movement. German armored columns raced deep into Poland, bypassing and surrounding isolated units. Within days, German troops neared Warsaw. The Polish government fled. Chaos reigned. The Battle of the Bzura saw a desperate Polish counterattack, briefly halting the Germans. But German air power and mobility crushed the resistance. The last hope of the Polish army was extinguished. Defenders fell back to besieged Warsaw. The storm had swept across Poland. From the start, the German war on Poland targeted civilians as much as soldiers. The bombing of Wielun set a precedent. Hospitals, churches, and homes were destroyed to terrorize the population. Cities and towns with no military value were bombed to create panic and chaos. The SS Einsatzgruppen followed the army, executing Poland's leaders and intelligentsia in a campaign of terror. In Bydgoszcz, mass executions shocked the world. The siege of Warsaw brought relentless bombing, fires, and starvation to 1 million civilians. Refugees clogged the roads, strafed by German planes. Families were torn apart, homes destroyed. The invasion was an assault on an entire people. The line between soldier and civilian vanished. Poland's suffering was a warning of horrors to come. The world saw the true face of total war. As Poland burned, Britain and France faced their moment of truth. On September 1st, they issued an ultimatum. Germany must withdraw or face war. Hitler ignored them, gambling they would back down. 2 tense days passed. On September 3rd, Britain and France declared war on Germany. The conflict was now a European war. But for Poland, the declarations brought no relief. Hopes for a Western offensive faded as France and Britain hesitated, offering little direct help. The phony war began in the West, while Poland fought alone. On September 17th, the Soviet Union invaded from the east, sealing Poland's fate. The government fled. Warsaw surrendered on September 28th. By October, Poland was partitioned between Germany and the USSR. But the fire that started in Poland could not be contained. The world was now at war, a conflict that would engulf every continent and become the deadliest in history. The darkness that fell on Poland would soon spread across the globe.